I recently received a permanent ban on China's TikTok for community guideline violations. I had about 144,000 followers, about 3 million likes. So let's go over some community guideline violations of China. The Piglet's best friend here, who banned Winnie the Pooh because people made claims that he looked like Winnie the Pooh. Who first and foremost granted himself the power to be president for life. Like any good dictatorship, something like North Korea, like that turned out well. That place is just flourishing. Human rights, woof. And let's take a look at the terrible one-child policy that they had. Resulted in over 13 million abortions per year. Plus, because they preferred culturally men over women being born, the females would often just be killed or thrown in dumpsters and things like that, resulting in about 40 million more men than women now. Hence why trafficking of brides and things like that are up, because there's just not enough men to marry women. There's nothing. They've killed them all. The US did bring up this big human rights violation that they do traffic a lot. They ignored it, of course. Even though children and forced labor and things of the such have been the cornerstone of China's economy forever. But they've decided to use the Uyghurs instead, having them in forced camps, forced labor, forced experimentation. They actually used CRISPR technology to harvest the DNA of the Uyghurs and experiment on them, their physical features and everything else. You might have heard the word CRISPR before because that's what they used to make the bioweapon, COVID, that they've unleashed on the entire world. Here's a whistleblower. Strange how Wuhan also held the military games, which basically spread the virus to every country. They would often infiltrate other countries' intelligence agencies and schools and steal the property. Here, there's scientists in Winnipeg from Wuhan that have transferred some kind of bioweapon to Wuhan. Getting everybody to do the hard work while China basically just steals and takes is part of their culture, I guess, taking $500 billion worth of patents from the US every year. Stealing everybody's technology patents and things has allowed them to advance their AI and their surveillance system, which means that they have one camera for every 6 people in China. They tried to strip away Hong Kong's freedoms by adding the surveillance system there and being able to persecute everybody in China. They all get a social credit score. Based on behavior, they get access to flying around or entering stores or things like that. They surveil every part of them. Can't speak out about it or else, you end up just disappearing like a lot of famous celebrities have. Using their 1,000 Talents program, they essentially bribe everybody to be loyal to China instead of their country. Like this young gentleman cleaning this picture of a cock off the wall. But China doesn't care. They've basically controlled their entire internet. They create we don't give a fuck islands in the middle of international water. So it seems like China has violated Westerner community guidelines and probably should stay the fuck out of the West, but bitch boy here is